Okay, it's getting serious. I want you to remember that all of this that is created is by us. I'm going to talk about what it is, and I want to talk to you about why it's serious and how you can change whatever is happening in your life and out there. Yes, out there. What is all of this? What must you pay attention to if you truly want to make changes in your life? And everything's a choice. We're going to talk about all of that because it is getting serious. Are you ready for this? I'm going to explain it and give you something you can do today to make some very big positive changes. Let's go. Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube. Where's my coffee? Hold on. Here to help you break through those fears and live an amazing life. I know it doesn't seem like it's possible, especially the things that we're going through. But let me share something with you. I want you to really put some thought into this and tell me what you think in the comments. Are we really going into really bad times? Are we experiencing bad times? What have we been doing before? That was the Matrix. And we think that was okay because we were going to work and earning and buying things and going on vacation and all the things that the material world tells us we're supposed to do. That got shook up. So now it's uncomfortable because the material world is now becoming apparently not so stable. However, the things that are keeping us, that kept us in the Matrix, that we chose to stay in the Matrix with, are dissolving. That is not a bad thing, but it is getting serious, and I'm going to tell you why. We are going into a golden era. What is that? It is where people are awakening, and I mean truly awakening. What are we going to talk today about? What everything you see is, how you react to it, how all of this works, and what you can do today to really shake up your world and go into the awakened state and start to transition into a new earth that absolutely has peace and unconditional love in it, despite the fact that you will still be in a physical body here. So I think we overcomplicate this and we think that, oh, I just disappeared, I go off into something and all these people are missing. People are worried. I'm worried my family's not going to go. I'm thinking, you should be concerned about yourself, not your family. No. People aren't just going to disappear. There is going to be a transition, and it's already been happening. I've talked about this before, where absolutely you will notice that certain people just aren't in your life anymore. They're actually not a part of your reality. Now, you may know that they still exist somewhere out there. They're not in your reality. They're not in your sphere. And what's happening is that is part of the split that's happening on the physical world. People will make different choices in what they eat. Somebody said, well, what do you eat if you don't, you're telling us to stop eating meat. I would never tell you to do that. Please watch these videos over again and ask yourself if I ever took any kind of stand on anything and told you what to do? Absolutely not. And that's the beauty of this journey, is your choice. Now, I want to talk to you about what's happening and why it's getting serious. Nothing is about what's going on out there. Everything's about what you're doing with it. Everything's about your reaction to it, your thoughts, your actions to it. That's the game. All of it. So when you go into a holographic, let's say a game, and you're it's always shooting something or killing something, right? That's programming. It's all programming. I want you to ask yourself, if you're going into programming, you think all this is okay. We're so deep into it, we don't realize what we do. Okay, I'll give you an example. If you saw my Instagram account, I showed 2 glasses of champagne. It happened to be when they were saying that our new president was going to come in, and it wasn't final anyways. I happened to be on my porch celebrating with my neighbors, which I do every weekend. There was no sound on it for some reason. Now I want you to think about how many times you do this. Because this is what's going to suck you into that density, and you're never going to go into that new earth, that awakening, that amazing place that you can start today living. This person saw this video and assumed I was celebrating the election. Now, even if I was, that's my business. I don't force these videos on people, right? And then the spiritual person, slammed me like you wouldn't believe. Do you know my neighbor doesn't even know? We weren't even talking about it. We were talking about our amazing future and that we really do have a lot to look forward to. And that despite who's in the office, that we really come together. We were saying how many positive things were actually happening because of the planetary challenge. It was a really positive conversation, and I, as I do every weekend, pull out my champagne, and we were out there celebrating, watching the people go by, beeping their horns and stuff. Now, even if it was a celebration, which it was not, of the elections, why would you turn against somebody? Are we all to think like automatons? Are we all to think like you? And are you turning on anybody because they think differently than you? They believe differently than you? And people who may claim to be Christians may turn on other people and judge them and chastise them? We have to start looking at ourselves very deeply. It's getting very serious. The game is the tests that will ask you, put you in a position to make decisions on how you react. That's the big test. It's getting serious. Every single reaction of yours, ask yourself, am I opposing somebody because they think different? Because I want something. That's 100% your ego. 100%. So you can have opinions, you can think things, you can have your own actions. You cannot make a mistake, but people who go into a high frequency won't hang out with you. So you have to make that decision. If you want to continue in the world that's fighting with one another, opposing, arguing, diversity is beautiful. If you choose to eat meat, then all I suggest, because you're here on my channel, and this is what we talk about, is to look at the source of that. When you watch another channel of light beings who are here to save us, that tell you who these enemies are, ask yourself what that source is and if it feels right. Would a light being really do that? Are there enemies? Every person out there, every personality, every energy field is you. And when you tap into your higher self, which you can do right here, how do you do that? You let go of all that. You cannot tap into your own higher frequency, which always exists, if you are focused on your lower frequency. Does this make sense? You are just a perfect light being choosing where you place your focus and the game that you play within that focus. That's all it is. So all these things that are happening out there, you're saying is a problem, is your test to ask how you're reacting to it. That's it. All right, so if there are abuses out there, somebody said, what am I supposed to do? I said, make higher choices. We can't all be in the front lines of everything. But I know if I'm eating something that is destructive to the planet, if it comes from a place that uses chemicals or does abuse plants or animals, no excuses. It's getting serious. You better know what you're doing every single day. And you can't claim stupidity because I know you're way too smart for that. Way too smart. So that's what awakening is. I am not in a dream state anymore. This is real for me in this holographic universe that I chose to play out, which is very real. It hurts when you cut yourself. All right, that's an experience. These are things we can't even comprehend because our idea of a hologram or 3D doesn't go into that space of physical feelings. It's all emotional. We feel like we're walking over a cliff or whatever, but we don't feel anything when somebody, pokes us. Real life allows us to take it to the extreme. We get to experience the horror of what we can be. All choice. Nobody is there saving you or punishing you. It is you doing everything. I want you to ask yourself, and I have done hundreds, literally hundreds of videos on this. Ask yourself if that thought, that reaction on the world out there is you getting sucked in to the test and flunking. Now, you can't make a mistake because hopefully you learn from it. Have you ever seen Groundhog Day? He gets better and better. Bill Murray gets stuck in one day. And everything that goes wrong that day, he relives over and over again. And eventually, instead of trying to escape it, he realizes that he can change it. And at one point, he starts to change everything about that day that he can. In fact, there's a couple things. One, a homeless guy dies. And every day he comes back, he tries to figure out how to save this guy. And so eventually he accomplishes all of his goals. But what he did is he started to really enjoy his life. He started to love it. He started to contribute and give. And he let go. And this is what I teach in the Miracle Circle. Come on, join me, Miracle Circle. Once a month, I take you into that space where, how do we do this? This is getting so serious, I can't tell you, because a lot of you next year will not even notice a difference. You're like, what happened? Nothing happened. And others will experience, right now, will experience a shift in how you feel in every way. And that's going to affect you physically too. You're going to notice how you eat. You know, your whole body is going to feel different. You know, in many, many ways, your sleep patterns, all this stuff. So there's so much going on right now. I can't express enough to you that this movement is real. It's happening. And if you're not feeling this and you're still caught up in the arguments in the world out there, you don't realize that those of us who are focused on light and love are creating a different world out there. We see it differently, and the things that are happening are amazing and wonderful. And the things that are not working for density will still play out because there are people that choose it. It's not going to go away. There are people that choose it. You just won't be entrenched in it anymore. You won't be the person arguing about who you voted for. Why would you argue with anybody about anything? Argue. I'm talking about not discussions, I'm talking about argument. At some point, you don't even care about any of this stuff. It's so frivolous. It's such a snap in the universe. And on your deathbed, those arguments and how you treat each other, what you're saying is irrelevant. What you're talking about is irrelevant. How are you treating that person, that situation, those animals, those plants, your home, your relationships? That's all that counts. Spiritual butt kick. That's all that counts. Because that is you. And unconditional love is all we come from. And you have to ask yourself, what would Jesus do? What would Jesus do? He loved the sinner. See, I don't even think there are sinners. That's just a name we gave people that are bad. And so we walk around in fear. There are no sinners. We're all students. Boy, you know, if you can name a sinner, there's every person walking on the planet's one then, because there is not one human being that doesn't have some kind of thought, including the Dalai Lama, who says he has those thoughts. How are you reacting to them? I want you to get serious because the frequency is raising on the planet. And there are many, many people who are so focused on that all of their thoughts are on joy, abundance, giving, love. How can I contribute? Because when I contribute, I receive that amazing power. I receive those opportunities in my own abundance. But they don't do it for that. They do it because that's just what we're here for. It's getting so serious I can't even tell you, because if you do not shift into this higher frequency, you will continue to struggle and suffer. And if you're done with that and you decide you don't want to struggle anymore, ask yourself why you would focus on anything negative at all. What are you getting out of it? Right? Is it a bad habit? Sometimes it's just a bad habit. right? It's an addiction. You don't know what to be or how to be anything else. Come on over, take one of my courses. I'll show you how. It takes practice and constant attention. And that is the power of now, right? Eckhart Tolle talks about. It's about this moment, not about the past and the future, because when we get caught up in that, we're creating a now that's stressful. So why is it getting serious? Because the planet is raising its frequency and there is a shift. And we've done so much damage to her. So much damage. And it cannot continue this way. We cannot destroy ourselves and in any way, shape, or form feel like that's good and that we're okay as long as we're surviving personally. This is a community now. Are you ready to go into that space? So today, your task is once again, how is that affecting me and how am I reacting to that? How am I reacting to that? Not what is that? What's that? Oh, it's this. No. How am I reacting to that? My test, my test, my test. Not about the subject, about how I'm reacting to it. What energy field I'm sending out. Condemning or blessings? Not like you're some, oh, I'm God. Bless you, child. Bless you. It's not about the power thing, because they have equal power. And those things will start to fade and go away, and that's the new earth. They start to fade away because you have no attention to them. You're placing your attention on the giving and the positive change, and so those things will dissolve because they won't be problems anymore. People will be fed. People will be taken care of. People will be loved. Everything will be respected. So if you're going into a space that does not respect anything, from your food to everything you do, you're still contributing to lower frequency. I know it's tough. It's tough because we live in a world where you cannot escape it. It doesn't matter. You can still make choices within that. And sometimes that means letting go some stuff that you really love that's loaded with garbage that's destroying the planet. She has tolerated us long enough. Are you ready to go into that space? Come on over. You can take Breakthrough Fear. If you're in Manifest Anything, my video series, you're going to see all the free stuff. I have a meditation page on my site. That's all free. I think I have 8 or 12 meditations on my website, landriaonkka.com. landriaonkka.net. You guys know that's a free workshop. People are changing their lives about how they earn and work. They're learning new skills. They're no more complaining about everything, right? Do or don't. No more judgment. Catch yourself. Catch yourself. Because it's getting serious. All right? I don't want you to go into that new space that we're about to enter and struggle and suffer. I want you to go in and say, oh, happening. It's happening because I am now connected to that higher frequency. And you can do it. You can start today. Watch it, watch it, watch it. The hologram is going to throw everything at you. What are you going to do with it? You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.